with Stridyn, there's a lot of work that has to happen that isn't glamorous, right? You're laying a foundation, you're pouring a slab for a house. Once you start, putting up the walls and the scaffolding, it comes together quick.
From Aderant, this is Studio A, the podcast that helps legal professionals like you stay on top of trends and solutions that keep your law firm thriving. Welcome to Studio A, powered by Aderant, your podcast for all of the latest conversations shaping legal tech. Today I have a super cool guy on the show. His name is Nicholas Wolter, and he is a Senior Director of Applications Architecture at Aderant. How you doing today, man?
Hey, good. Happy to be here.
I love to have fresh new faces on the show. You look like a guy that is spearheading innovation. So we are happy to have you here. Are you ready to rock and roll and get this party started?
Absolutely.
Okay. First question. What brought you to Aderant? There's a lot of new faces, fresh new faces coming into the building. What brought you here?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, actually. Two unique things. One probably hits a little close to home for you. Studio A, believe it or not, and Stridyn. I was watching some messaging around Stridyn and what you guys are trying to do here a year ago, mostly on Studio A, and I thought, wow, that is one cool looking company and marketing department, and also a great message and strategy around a platform. And I want to be a part of building that platform. I get really excited about tech, and you'll probably see that here. And I'm like, you know what, I want to, as long as there's some good work to be done left, I want to be there. And who knows, maybe even end up on Studio A someday.
Well, guess what? You are here and your plan worked, and I'm pretty sure this won't be the last time you'll be here. Now, I love that you are very passionate about your work. Tell us a little bit more about your role at Aderant. Being
kind of the lead application architect, I am involved with all applications under our, wide portfolio at Aderant. Everything from VI, Bill Blast, our new next-gen applications, and actually with a primary focus on our new Stridyn applications and how we evolve that strategy to fit up the whole portfolio. And a lot of exciting things around user experience, around fast, efficient UIs, and stuff like that. So I have a counterpart, Chris Compton, kind of on the back end, cloud architecture and infrastructure. We make a pretty good team here. So it sounds like you guys are the brains behind all of the cool technology that's coming to market. Maybe don't let Andy hear you say that. But
now let's talk about some of that innovation. Stridyn, the AI-driven cloud platform, it was launched last year. There's been a lot of cool advancements to the platform. What excites you the most about Stridyn? Because you're pretty close to the development of it. So what excites you the most?
One cool thing about my position is I can get all the way down to the weeds from, writing code, launching new features, and talking to the clients about this. So a lot gets me excited about Stridyn. And I'll tell you, I mentioned that was one of the reasons why I came. I was not let down. The vision and the drive from, our CEO, Chris Cartret, and Andy to make progress here is awesome. And so I'd say probably, biased being the application architect, I think that excites me the most are the applications on Stridyn. And specifically the kind of unified one UI app experience we're trying to deliver. And I think there's probably three kind of pillars to that hit home for me, making a fast, efficient, and responsive or device-friendly UI. And if you don't mind, I'd maybe give a point about each one real quick. Faster applications themselves, right? Not having to switch contexts or logging into another application or loading, different resources in your browser and switching back and forth to applications, something that we really are focusing on. So one Stridyn UI, one Stridyn application with deep linking back and forth between applications is huge. And again, faster from, a click to redirect, all that kind of stuff. We're trying to remove all of that, right? And then that goes right into, efficiency of using our applications. We don't want to have, our clients having to, and our users having to even think about switching a tab or, directing over somewhere else. So let's say you're actually looking at some analytics or you're looking at some data or your own personal home dashboard and you realize, I forgot I wanted to add some, a time entry. With Stridyn now we can support things that we couldn't, possibly think about before when everything was in their own application, right? They had their siloed data. We can add time entries now with a click of a button from the header. We say you finish that and you want to add an expense. You can launch that in a modal, right? In any application that you're in, any work that you're doing, you can now take those actions. Or let's say you're reviewing something else and you get a notification, a partner, and you want to approve an expense, it shows up. You can do that without leaving applications. That's our whole thing. Efficient user experiences, right? Not adjunct journeys. And then I'd say the last thing is when I said, device friendly, everything from your desktop computer, iPad to your phone. And we're building more than just responsive UIs, right? It's the cool new thing to say, I have a responsive UI. It works, every size. We believe we want to go a step further than that. We want responsive UIs from a desktop to iPad and small window size, but we want to give mobile experiences, right? Native feeling mobile experiences in the browser. You could add to your home screen or anything like that. And so yeah, we put a lot of time, like I said, I get too excited about this stuff, but a lot of time into, making sure we give you the best experience to save you the most amount of time with Stridyn.
Are legacy systems slowing you down? Meet the firms that broke free. In this exclusive client roundtable, hear firsthand from Aderant clients as they reveal how Expert Sierra transformed their operations, from migration milestones to measurable wins. If you're ready to accelerate your revenue cycle and unify your front and back office, this is your roadmap to a smarter practice. Head to the webinar's on-demand section at aderant.com and watch why firms are hitching their wagon to Expert Sierra today.
Now, when I talk to brilliant minds like yourself, I get excited myself because I'm learning about new things and we're taking a deep dive and really getting into the weeds. Is there anything behind the scenes that people may not know about Stridyn?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Especially, like I said, I like nerding out a little bit. There's a lot of things and something that maybe isn't as flashy as a UI or a new application is kind of our infrastructure and metrics. There's a wide range of metrics, right? I'm sure some, the IT staff is familiar with, VMs and Kubernetes and container metrics and stuff like that. But we're trying to go a step further with things like custom metrics that can be derived from the applications, from the users using them, to our backend systems, to really anticipate and understand, what's happening out there real time. And so, my dream, and that we're working towards every day is getting to a point where we can see real problems crop up in real time or issues coming up. And so we don't need to have a support ticket raised or we don't need to, wait for somebody to call out. We can say, hey, you know what? We noticed something here, and let's either take an action or trigger an automatic, resolution flow or something like that. So really defining metrics that are important for us to make sure. And let's say, something does come up that we didn't catch. Well, let's patch that hole now, right? Let's get a metric in place that we can see something like that happen again. And even goes a step further with, business insights. We can create new custom business metrics for partners and other people to figure out, how's the firm operating in real time, both from personnel actions, or is the system slowing down? Are we getting time entries in? And, being able to see all that from your phone, right? One cohesive platform allows us to take, different bespoke metrics and put them into, unique business insights that I think will really help give more transparency to the law firms.
I love the way that you paint the picture of the way Stridyn works. It sounds like a borderless experience or kind of like
Absolutely.
a one-stop shop platform. So that's very exciting, and I think that's a great segue to my next question. With all of this rapid development, I would say, as it pertains to Stridyn and just all of the technology that you and your team are bringing to market, what can we expect and what excites you the most going forward?
It's going to sound probably crazy, and you have to give me some time to explain it afterwards. We're here at Momentum 2025, right?
Yep.
I love the energy, love talking with our clients. I was even taking out my phone and showing some of the new stuff that they're showing on stage, at one of the events yesterday. And there's just, I love getting good feedback and seeing the excitement in their faces when we're showing them these new experiences. And so love this week. It's been a lot of fun. I'm already excited for Momentum 2026. With Stridyn, there's a lot of work that has to happen that isn't glamorous, right? There's you're laying a foundation, you're pouring a slab for a house. Once you start, putting up the walls and the scaffolding, it comes together quick, kind of almost like a hockey stick curve. And, coming to this Momentum, we were able to see how many unique experiences we were able to deliver and tools we were able to build and stuff like that. And now knowing we have another 12 months with, a foundation that's nearly cured, really excites me. The amount of new things that we can build together, develop, and iterate on between now and next Momentum, I can't wait to see the smiles and the expressions from our clients. So,
Well, being that this is your first interview on Studio A, this definitely won't be the last, and I got to hold you to it. You got to promise to come back during Momentum Global 2026, and you got to be the first guest on the show.
First guest. Oh,
in 2026 at Momentum. Is that a deal?
It's a deal.
All right, deal.
Awesome.
Great conversation, great insight from Mr. Nicholas Wolter, Senior Director of Applications Architecture at Aderant. You're tuned in to Studio A, powered by Aderant, your podcast for the latest conversations shaping legal tech. As you can see, we take deep dives into all things innovation. You can always find great people on the show. Be sure to check us out on all streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, for all of the latest conversations to really help your business, your law firm, take it to the next level. You're tuned in to Studio A, powered by Aderant. My name is Will Ayers, and be sure to stay tuned for more.
Thanks for listening to Studio A. For more from this episode, visit Aderant.com. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a beat, and we'll see you next time in Studio A.